In 1993, the first final of the rebranded UEFA Champions League was held in Munich between Marseille and AC Milan. Marseille would win 1-0 to become the first and to date only French team to be crowned champions of Europe. It should have been a great chapter in the history of the competition, but unfortunately it has become a tale synonymous with controversy, relating to allegations of cheating and doping that have never been shaken off. This is a story of Olympique Marseille, Europe's tainted champions. Marseille won their first Ligue 1 title in 1937 and were going to win it a further 3 times before the 1980s. The 70s had started well for them, but they descended into a crisis, being relegated to second tier, and they would return to the top flight in 1984. In 1986, they were purchased by French businessman Bernard Tapie, who had made a name for saving bankrupt companies from closure. Tapie was keen to take Marseille to the top. He splashed the cash on superstars such as Rudi Völler, Abedi Pele, Didier Deschamps, Chris Waddle and Jean-Pierre Papin. Soon, they would dominate in style. Their fortunes quickly turned around. Having finished 1 point above the relegation zone in 1986, the next campaign they finished second and also reached the Coupe de France final. Whilst they finished 6th the next campaign, the silverware would soon follow. Marseille won a double of Ligue 1 and the Coupe de France in 1989. It would be the start of a dominant stretch. They would win 4 league titles in a row, with their team of superstars blowing other sides away. Jean-Pierre Papin was netting for fun, being the division's top scorer for 5 years in a row. French football had not seen a team of this quality before, and whilst they become kings of their country, it was now time to conquer Europe. Franz Beckenbauer had a spell in charge of the side in 1990, before he was replaced by Belgian Raymond Goethals. Goethals had experienced success with both Anderlecht and Standard Liège, guiding the former to a Cup Winners' Cup title in 1978. He took charge of Marseille in January 1991 and nearly had the perfect first few months in charge. He led them to a league title, and there was chance for a treble, with them reaching the Coupe de France and European Cup finals. Unfortunately, Monaco would defeat them in the Coupe de France final, and Red Star Belgrade would win the European Cup final on penalties. Goethals' side, though, would be back for redemption. They retained their league title the next season, but it was overshadowed by tragedy when the stand collapsed during Marseille's Coupe de France semi-final match against SC Batsiad in Corsica, which led to 18 deaths. In 1992, the European Cup was rebranded to Champions League, which saw a group stage replace the knockout format. Yugoslavian forward Alen Boksic was purchased from Cannes to aid the side's firepower, along with fellow forward Rudi Völler, defender Marcel Desailly and goalkeeper Fabien Barthez, and it worked like a charm. Boksic got 26 goals in all competitions as Marseille won their 4th Ligue 1 title in a row. European glory was the other goal. Marseille defeated Northern Irish outfit Glentoran 8-0 on aggregate in the preliminary round, and then defeated Dynamo Bucuresti in the next round to reach the group stage. They went unbeaten throughout this stage, winning 3 and drawing 3, with a 6-0 win over CSKA Moscow along the way. They advanced as group winners to the final, where they faced AC Milan. AC Milan were a formidable force in Europe at the time, having won the competition twice under Arrigo Sacchi in 1989 and 1990, and they were going to win it again in 1994. It was a tough task for Marseille to face. The two teams stepped out onto the turf at the Olympique Stadion, with the club game's biggest prize in front of them. In the 44th minute, Abedi Pele swung in a corner, and Basile Boli leapt up to head it. The ball flew into a corner, and Marseille had the lead. A solitary goal was enough. Marseille held their lead, and on the 5th time of asking, a French side had finally been victorious in the final. Tapie was seen on the pitch after the game, smiling broadly, saying he had 11 players who would die for each other. Marseille had risen from the ashes to become champions of Europe, thanks to Bernard Tapie, who had saved them from oblivion and taken them to the top of the footballing world. It was a wonderful story that would be hailed as one of the greatest turnarounds in football history. Or so it seemed. Unfortunately, as they say, the higher they rise, the harder they fall, and Marseille were about to fall maliciously. In the aftermath of the final, the lengths that Tapie were willing to go to were unveiled. Having had 2 players out in the 1999 European Cup final due to injury, Tapie was keen to avoid this happening again. In a game against relegation-threatened US Valenciennes, Marseille could seal their title with a victory. Tappi, however, was concerned about his players having to stretch themselves and risk injury, and tried to take advantage of his players' contacts. He noted that Marseille midfielder Jean-Jacques had once been a teammate of Valenciennes players Jacques Glassman and Jorge Burruchaga. Tappi was alleged by Adeli to have said, "It is imperative you get in touch with your former nonce teammates at Valenciennes. We don't want them acting like idiots and breaking us before the final with Milan. Do you know them well?" Glassman later revealed he had been offered the equivalent of £30,000 to take his foot off the gas by Adeli, and Valenciennes player Christophe Robert had to send his wife to pick up a bag of notes in the Marseille team hotel, which was later found buried in the garden of Robert's mother-in-law. Marseille won the game 1-0 and the title as a result, but would soon lose everything. Christophe Robert admitted to his role in the scandal to the police. Although Tappi initially claimed the money given was a loan so that Robert could start a restaurant, he later admitted the truth. Police would raid the HQ of Marseille on the 30th of June 1993. The criminal investigations had intense ramifications. Marseille was stripped of the 1993 Ligue 1 title, relegated, and were not allowed to compete in next season's European Cup. Their European crown, however, would remain, as no evidence could be found that the games they played in the European Cup were won due to match fixing. Bernard Tapie was initially not prosecuted as he was a member of the French National Assembly. However, he was alleged to have offered a deal to Valenciennes manager Born Primorac that would see the Bosnian manager admit to orchestrating the whole affair. Primorac, however, refused and reported Tapie to police. This caused Bernard Tapie's parliamentary privilege to be revoked, and he was handed a 2-year prison sentence on charges of corruption and witness tampering. Ideli would serve 17 days behind bars and was banned from football for 18 months. He would cause further controversy when he published his autobiography in 2006, in which he alleged Marseille players had been given suspicious injections before the game against AC Milan, claims that were backed up by Chris Waddle and Marcel Desailly. Marseille entered bankruptcy, with many of their players leaving, and Tapie was banned from football for life. Adidas owner Robert Louis Dreyfus would take over the club to save them from oblivion. The great side had been torn apart by one man's greed, and French football was in ruin. Marseille's victory could have been an inspirational story and heralded French domestic football to the top. Sadly, thanks to one man quite literally doing anything to win, it was all ruined. Such a talented side would no doubt have been back competing for top honours if they had not succeeded that season, and the fact that Tapie felt it necessary to bribe a relegation-threatened team to win a game when he had a squad full of superstars reeks of both cowardice and insecurity. Tapie undid all the great work he had performed with his dishonesty and greed, ruining what should have been the greatest moment in French club football history. Instead of putting the French game on the map, he set it back, leaving asterisks all over Marseille's achievements and French football. Thanks to him, the only time a French team has won the Champions League is now a rabbit hole of controversy, when it could have been a tale of triumph over adversity. Marseille's victory now will forever be tainted, and whilst for a little while Bernard Tapie made Marseille, he also ended up ruining them. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on the AFC Finners channel. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please have a look at the channel down below and check out the hundreds of videos available. If you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, you can do so in the link below for as little as £1 a month. Please let me know what you thought of this video and what topic you'd like me to cover next. See you next time.